So welcome to another video. As I promised, I'm gonna be doing more AI walkthroughs using the different AI tools. This time we're using Windsurf. Windsurf is like the competitor to Cursor, if you know. Cursor is like the famous brother, and then Windsurf is like the unfamous one. But basically I built a podcast app using one prompt, and this was done with Cursor. I just want to show you the process that I went through. I won't go too much into details, but I want to show you the app. Currently it's live but I'm still building it. It should be jupiterpod.com. So because it's a podcast app. So I wanted the podcast app to work on iOS, Android, and mobile. So this is the process that I went through. I'm just going to show you the app itself, and then I'm going to show you the prompt that I used. It is a one prompt app, but then I did put in some details beforehand. So this is the actual website that the AI has created. Like I mentioned, I used Windsurf. So you can see it's actually like a full-on podcast app. This is like a website that you are seeing right now, and it's using export router, this discover. You can see like the search part works. You got the podcasts on the other side, and then watch what happens when I actually should be fully responsive, as you can see. So what you can see now is actually the iOS version. I see the actual icons work on the iOS version of the app, and then you got the Android on this side. So they all have the same functionality, like I mentioned. So you can actually discover, and you can actually go to a podcast, and it will load up the episodes, or it should. Let's see if it will allow me. The site on the web works. You can press on play, and the actual podcast will play.
You are listening to the Joe Rogan Experience Review Podcast. We find little nuggets, treasures, valuable pieces of gold in the Joe Rogan Experience Podcast and pass them on to you. Perhaps expand a little bit. We are not associated with Joe Rogan.
Things are getting crazy. This is all AI. You can see on the Android side as well, similar. Everything's almost 100% the same. So yeah, I realize that there are some certain things maybe I might change, maybe I might improve on as I build up this app. But let me show you the code now. I'll probably put a link to this on the description. Just remind me if I didn't. So this is the code. So right here, this is Windsurf. So this is what. So right here, this is Windsurf. So this is what I use for the app. So like it actually used the correct procedures when it comes to export router. You got the tabs. So once you enter the app, it's gonna start at the layout. The layout has the stacks, which is the tabs themselves, which you have here. This corresponds to what you can see on the app itself. If you press back here, from the layout, you got the tabs, which are here, and then you got this podcast. This is more of like the podcast detail screen. So if I click on this podcast, this is the screen that comes up, and then from the tabs, you should have another layout. This is closer to the original export router template that you get when you start the project. So I decided to stick on that and not change a lot of things there. But everything like actually is working so well. I'm actually impressed. Hey, this was just from one prompt, guys. This was from one prompt, and it actually generated like the full app. Yeah, some other items I added myself. For example, I added the icons here, showed under the fonts. So these are fonts that I generated myself, which is also generated using AI. So this is like crazy. but if you want to try out the podcast, I'm still working on it, but you can try it out using the link in the description.